Amy had always been drawn to antique shops, and when she stumbled upon an old, intricately designed dollhouse, she knew she had to have it. The shopkeeper warned her about the dollhouse's dark past, but she brushed it off as superstition. Amy placed the dollhouse in her living room, admiring its eerie beauty. That night, she was awakened by the sound of tiny footsteps and faint whispers. She dismissed it as her imagination, but the sounds persisted, growing louder each night. One evening, Amy noticed that the dolls inside the house had moved. She was certain she hadn't touched them. She decided to set up a camera to prove to herself it was all in her head. The next morning, she reviewed the footage and was horrified to see the dolls moving on their own, their tiny faces twisted into sinister grins. Determined to get rid of the cursed dollhouse, Amy tried to burn it, but the flames refused to touch it. Desperation grew as she took it to the woods, hoping to leave it far from her home. As she walked back to her car, she felt a chilling presence behind her. She turned to see the dolls, now life-sized, staring at her with malevolent eyes. Panic surged through her veins, and she ran. But no matter how fast she moved, the dolls were always right behind her. In a frenzy, she tripped and fell, and as she looked up, the dolls towered over her. They dragged her back to the dollhouse, forcing her inside. The walls of the dollhouse seemed to close in on her, the whispers now deafening. Amy tried to fight back, but the doll's grip was ironclad. She screamed, hoping someone would hear, but the woods swallowed her cries. Inside the dollhouse, the rooms were distorted, filled with shadowy figures and haunting memories that weren't her own. Days turned into nights as Amy struggled to escape the nightmarish maze. Each room brought new horrors, ghostly apparitions, phantom laughter, and chilling cold. Her strength waned, and hope faded with each passing moment. Weeks later, the antique shopkeeper found the dollhouse abandoned in the woods. He took it back to his shop, oblivious to the tiny figure of Amy, now trapped inside, banging on the windows and screaming for help. The shopkeeper placed the dollhouse on a shelf, its sinister beauty attracting new customers. No one noticed the new doll inside, its face twisted in terror, silently pleading for release. Amy's existence became a never-ending cycle of torment. The dolls, her captors, watched with soulless eyes, ensuring she would never escape. The antique shop continued to thrive, the dollhouse's dark secrets luring unsuspecting souls into its cursed clutches.